Most dangerous female prisoners. They say hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and killers like Michelle Blair definitely cement this. In a Detroit, Michigan home, Blair was threatened with eviction, but when she refused to get a job to pay her dues, a crew court was dispatched to evict her. But what they found in her home was shockingly terrifying. Inside a freezer, they found the bodies of Stephen and Stoney Blair, who apparently had to have been dead for 3 years. With an apology, Michelle was arrested and tried for murder, and her excuse was that she was killing demons who sexually abused her kids. But there was no evidence to support this claim. In court, Blair was remorseless and had a very nonchalant attitude to the point of interrupting the judge several times. It turned out the killings were so horrendous they included suffocation, skinning, making them drink Windex, and pouring boiling water on them. Blair was so bold that she admitted to the judge that she would kill them again, but she wouldn't get the chance since she was sentenced to life in prison.
You're therefore sentenced to the Michigan Department of Corrections for the rest of your life without the possibility of parole.
While Blair was remorseless, Shayna Hubers was a full-on psychopath. Shayna Hubers was on trial for the murder of her boyfriend, Ryan Poston. Apparently, the couple had been in a toxically abusive relationship until Hubers decided to end things horribly with the murder of Poston. She even called the police to admit it. Hubers claimed self-defense against Poston's abuse, though, and interrogations, Hubers seemed very unusual. She was walking around, singing and talking to herself, commending her acting skills. Probably not something a murder suspect wants on video. In her trials, Hubers continued to claim that she murdered Poston in self-defense, and that he was abusive towards her. But witnesses against Hubers came forward, including her own former cellmate. With all evidence and witnesses against her, Hubers was sentenced to 40 years in prison, with the possibility of parole after 34 years. Until things took a Hollywood-style twist, and a jury member turned out to be a felon himself, so the case was looked into one more time. But Hubers didn't get off lightly, still getting a life sentence, but a possibility of parole after 17 years. It's tragic when murder comes out of love, but even more tragic when it comes from your own family, such as with Sandra Lane. In Detroit, Michigan, 17-year-old Jonathan Hoffman was staying with his sweet 75-year-old grandmother when she turned out to be all but, as they got into an argument over his drug use, only for Sandra to suddenly pull out a 9mm Glock and shoot her grandson 6 times. Hoffman tried to call 911, but Sandra's fury was too much, firing off the killing blow while he was on the phone.
911, what's your emergency?
Well, I've just been shot.
What? Who?
I've just been shot.
Where are you at? Okay, how did you get shot? Who shot you?
My grandma shot me.
Your grandma and grandpa shot you?
My grandma.
Okay, and it just happened? Are you there? Keep talking to
In
me.
court, Sandra claimed it was self-defense, and two sides of the families being at odds, some supporting Sandra, and others like her own daughter, calling her pure evil. A daughter's comments can still be hurtful enough, and they reduced Lane to tears in court, as she was adamant that it was self-defense.
I'm done! I can't take it back.
Even though the jury didn't agree. Sandra eventually got 20 to 40 years in prison, which is practically a death sentence, given her age.